David. Everything that's being done at the moment is very carefully calculated by the government, and they know exactly what they're doing. So earlier this morning, I was saying to somebody that when you hear people describing what is happening in this country as stupid or ridiculous, this is a very big mistake, because none of it's stupid or ridiculous. It's been very carefully calculated for the result.
Now, over the weekend, there were various anti-lockdown protests around about the country. Piers Corbyn was in Bristol, and the Bristol Live was pretty much the only mainstream newspaper that I could see that covered this in any particular way.
And perhaps we could add to that, Mike, that Tony Gosling, of course, who was operating on a local FM channel until very recently, he's been silenced because they don't like him talking out on alternative subjects in Bristol. So,
okay, so Bristol Live covered his, but according to them, it was just a few people at that one. But Liverpool seems to have been very much a key protest, and quite a number of people out there. NHS workers slam scaremongering as pandemic deniers fill Liverpool Street. So where anybody that is questioning the narrative, they become pandemic deniers. So a reasonable number of people out there, but nonetheless, these protests going on right across the country. Now, there was...
Sorry, Mike, clever headline, isn't it, that you use the NHS, the brand of the NHS, to attack the people who are on the streets.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, there was a fantastic little presentation from a young woman at the event. So let's just have a listen to a little bit of what she said.
Number one, mind space. From the Institute for Government, it's a document that was created in 2010 by the British Gov, which discusses how mind control is used to influence the change of behaviour in society. That's mind space. And I strongly encourage you all to read that document and to understand why our futures are at such stake. I'd also strongly encourage the following to be looked into. UK Column News, Dr. Rashid A. Buttar and Dr. Vernon Coleman.
So that's just a little clip from a speech given by Laura Jayne. And thank you very much for the shout out, Laura Jayne.
Well, what's brilliant about that, Mike, is that she's giving the public the real document. She's not just talking and giving some story. She's saying, go and look at that government Mindspace document where the government in 2010 was boasting that it could change the way we think and behave by using applied psychology, and that's what's going on.
Yes, David, what were your thoughts?
Well, I was enjoying the applied psychology of the pandemic denier label, and I've also seen anti-maskers, not anti-vaxxers, anti-maskers being referred to. So this is the same scenario that has been tried before to silence debate, and this is the reason why people, once they understand how this works, start to question a whole lot of things, because it's the same argument that's used over and over again. You can't question that because questioning that is wrong and evil. Don't dare think for yourself. And once you escape that and you say, no, actually, I'm okay thinking for myself. Now I have some questions, and you have a responsibility to answer. When do we start? Once you get to that point, you become dangerous to the state.
Absolutely. Now, this is the website for the organisation that's running this. #SaveOurRights if you want to find them on social media. I mean, obviously they need support. Now, there perhaps weren't as many people at some of the protests and demonstrations as they might have liked. But so where were the general public? Well, they were all on the beach. And here is the Mirror. Travel chaos as cars turned away from heaving beaches on another scorching day. Here's the Independent. UK heatwave chaos on beaches as Britain swarm coastlines and cause 2-mile traffic jams. And Brian, what occurred to me was, well, this is in fact a form of protest here, because everybody on these beaches, well, they're pretty much ignoring all the social distancing argument. They're certainly not wearing masks. They're getting on with their lives. And so while they're not out in the city centres with placards, they are certainly making their own statement.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Mike was very noticeable. Obviously, we're down here in prime holiday territory in Plymouth and close to Cornwall, etc. So a lot of people down here to the beaches. You could tell with the traffic on the roads that it was like people just desperate to be let out of their boxes. And yeah, I think the people who've gone to the beach are going to go there because they are realising that something nasty is going on and they wanted to get away from it. But, sorry. Go ahead,
David. I was just going to say maybe the protest groups should be considering moving from the centre of cities to the beaches, because that's where the people are, perhaps where their audience is.
Well, yes, or I suppose you could really argue that going to the seaside is a form of protest now, because anything that's normal is a form of protest. Going into a shop without a mask on, smiling at a shop assistant and talking to them as a normal human being is becoming a form of protest. Anything that's normal is good. But the people who are actually standing up and exposing how it's done and the documents, they're especially good. So thank you very much for all of those.
Absolutely.